Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from an undisclosed location deep in the heartland of America. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian whistleblower. We are glad that you're here. We may be under the radar, but we're always over the top. And today, a couple of news items. One, just totally crazy, ridiculous, way out there. And the other one about UFOs. So let's go ahead and get right into it. If you're not watching the programming that we're doing here, it's amazing stuff. It has been right through the Easter weekend. Next Wednesday night, not tonight, but next Wednesday night, we'll have Joseph Atwell talking about his book, not Caesar's Messiah. He already did that. But we're going to talk about Shakespeare's Secret Messiah. That's a week from tonight with Joseph Atwell. Thursday night, we'll have the Consequential Rapscallions joined by Rocky Stucci and a lot of other exciting programming coming up as well. But let's get into some stuff that just befuddles me. And it's not really news that something befuddles me, but this is just, it's just crazy. And this comes from, what is this website? thecollegefix.com. And it says, university hosts no whites allowed faculty and staff listening sessions to promote inclusivity. No, you didn't hear that wrong. Wake Forest University, home of the Demon Deacons athletic programs, is hosting no whites allowed faculty and staff listening sessions to promote inclusivity. So let's exclude everybody that's white in order to promote inclusion. That makes perfect sense to me. It is the dumbest. It's so crazy. So crazy, ladies and gentlemen. So what is supposedly going on? Wake Forest is holding a series, not just one, but a series, ladies and gentlemen, of listening sessions only for faculty and staff of color. Only for faculty and staff of color that aim to advance inclusion efforts on campus. I've checked if it's a parody. I've checked if it was just a joke. It's really not. It really isn't. Dear faculty and college staff colleagues, this is a reminder that our upcoming listening sessions on inclusion that I'm holding for faculty and staff of color over the next several weeks. Now, the thing I wonder about is of color. If Barack Obama was teaching at Wake Forest, is he of color enough to come or not? Because, you know, Barack, he's not really black. He's not really white. He's somewhere in the middle. So is he excluded? Or is it okay for him to show up? How about Pocahontas? How about Elizabeth Warren, Senator Warren? She identifies, even though she's not, as a Native American. Could she come? And what about that crazy loon lady was in government somewhere, said she was black, found out she wasn't? If she identifies as black, can she come? How in the hell do they intend to create inclusion by excluding people? And, you know, I'm just barely not old enough to remember this, but there used to be a thing called separate but equal. And it was in the day before me. And it was white people saying, we don't want to be around black people, so we'll let them have separate but equal. We don't want them in our schools, so we'll give them separate but equal schools. We don't want them on our buses, so we'll give them separate but equal buses. We don't want them in our bathrooms, so we'll give them separate but equal bathrooms. And we rightly stopped that because it was a racist racial outrage. But now it's 2019 as I check the calendar, and it's the black folks, the crazy, stupid, ignorant, dumbass black folks. And that's not all black folks. I'm talking about the crazy, ignorant, stupid, dumbass ones. They want to bring back separate but equal. They want to bring back the stuff that Dr. King fought to get rid of. What a bunch of idiots. What a bunch of idiots. Congratulations, Wake Forest University. You are so stupid they should move you to California. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And until we get rid of all racism, including black racism, it's going to be a long hill to climb, cousins. It's going to be a long hill to climb. Now, let's move on to something that is less crazy than that. Let's talk about UFOs. Let's talk about UFOs, ladies and gentlemen. And Politico is reporting, and this fascinates me. Politico is reporting that the United States Navy is drafting new guidelines for reporting UFOs. The service says it's also provided a series of briefings by senior naval intelligence officials, as well as aviators who report hazards to aviation safety. So the U.S. Navy, and again, I thought it was very interesting when we had Jenny Moonstone on a couple of weeks ago, sitting in for Jay Campbell on The Last Stand. She mentioned that the Navy's in charge of the Space Force, and a lot of the UFO related stuff is Navy related, which is interesting because they're the Navy. And we think of UFOs being in space, but it's being controlled by the Navy. So that's interesting. And, I spent 6 years in the United States military. And the military is not particularly forward thinking. The military is a model of, I just lost my train of thought. The military is a model of crisis management. Wait for a crisis to happen, then manage it. So why would the Navy be drafting new guidelines for reporting UFOs? With my military experience, with my, I think at least average intelligence, it would have to make me think that the Navy is dealing with a lot of pilots, a lot of personnel that are encountering unidentified aircraft. And thus the need to take significant new steps in creating formal processes to collect and analyze the unexpected sightings and then designate them. There's been a lot of reports of unidentified and unauthorized aircraft entering various military-controlled ranges and designated airspace in recent years, the Navy said in the statement in response to questions from Politico. And for safety and security concerns, the Navy and the Air Force are going to take these reports very seriously. And as part of this effort, they're updating and formalizing the process. So again, crisis management. If there's not a crisis, you're not going to manage it. You're going to wait for it to come up. So they've got to be dealing with an increase in UFOs. They've got to be dealing with an increase in hostile aircraft activity. And it certainly makes for an interesting speculation as to why they would want to do this. Again, they don't do it being proactive. It's a crisis management organization. There is a crisis, so now they're being forced to manage it. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The Navy having a crisis with unidentified flying objects, and Wake Forest University overdosing on the stupid pills. Wow. It's a crazy, crazy world we live on when the UFOs is not the wildest thing that you can think of to talk about on YouTube. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower. That's just a little update and commentary on the news. We are here to remind you that you are the last generation of real humans. We're the next generation of real gods. If we remember that we are the anointed, say no to their I am, because we are the anointed. And the only way that we win this thing is if we unindoctrinate ourselves.